Hello out there, you are welcome to DaveTuts Academy, where we're devoted to building excellence in students, especially when it comes to the basis of the STEM subjects. Our video today is going to be showcasing the Cambridge IGCSE exam. I'm going to be walking through the paper 2, which is the extended paper of the mathematics exam for the 058022 exam for February-March 2022, which is going to take 1 hour 30 minutes in the exam hall, and we are going to take our time to demystify all of the questions. So just sit in, get set, get ready, and we are going to have a wonderful time together. What I will solicit is that go ahead, get out your biro, get out your pencil, get out your calculator, get your worksheet. Let's walk through this together. It is as we do that you are going to build the proficiency that will help you to gain that excellence. And if you are going to enjoy this video, want to solicit that you should go ahead and just subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell so that you have access to all of our videos as we upload them, and don't forget to like and also share with your friends and loved ones. If you have any question, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section, and our work is set for us. Let's go ahead and do our video for today. Here in this question, we are to measure the marked angle. So you can see this line and this line inclined to one another with this angle theta. And for us to measure the marked angle, we just need to bring in a protractor, which is just as shown here, and then we put the origin, the 0 point of the protractor at the point of intersection of the two lines, and then we can go to the edge of the protractor and read off the angle measured. So from here, this is 0, 0 here on this baseline, then we can move counterclockwise. This is 10, 20, 30, and we can see that 40 is exactly on that particular line that we're trying to measure. So with that, we can just say the measured angle that we have here is nothing but 40 degrees, and with that, our full mark is assured in that particular case. So here in this second question, we have to work out root 5 times 6 square. 6 square is 36, so we have it as 36 root 5, but we have to give our answer correct to 2 decimal places, so we can use our calculator for that. So we have 36 root 5, and what's that going to give us? This is 80.4984. This is 80.4984. But for us to put it correct to 2 decimal place, that means that after the decimal mark, we need to look at 2 digits. So we have these 2 digits that we are considering. But for us to conclude, we need to look at the digit immediately after that, which is 8. Then what do we do to 8? We need to round it up to 1 and add to the previous number. So I can say this is just 49. If I add 1 to it, that will be 50. So what is going to be my answer will be 80.50 as a reason of rounding up 8 to 1 and add it to 49. So we have it as 80.50 as the answer, correct to 2 decimal places. Now in this third question, we are being told here that a journey starts at 21:15 one day and ends at 04:33 the next day. We are to calculate the time taken in hours and minutes. So if we are looking at the start of the journey and we are looking at the end of the journey also, we are being notified here that it's starting at 21:15 and ending at 4:33. So we have a particular time in which we are going to arrive at 24 hours, or let's say we cross over to the next day. So this is 21:15, and this here is 0 hours, and then this is 4:33. For us to get the time taken in hours, it will have to be the time between 21:15 and 0 hours, which is like a combination of 24 hours, and then from that 0 hour to 4:33. From that 0 to 4:33 is just 4 hours 33 minutes. But here, for 21:15 to this 0 hour is as if we are having 24 hour minus that 21:15. But noticing that for this particular minute, we are working in base 60, okay, and then this we are working in hours. Now 0, we cannot just say 0 minus 15, so we need to take 1 from here, but that one that we are taking will amount to 60. So 60 minus 15, that will be 45, and then this will remain 3 minus 1, that will be 2. So this is this first phase of the journey. If I call this just x, so this is x, all right, but then we still have this, let me call this y, okay. That other time y will now be from 0 to 4:33, so that will amount to 4:33. If we need to add again, this particular case we are adding them, we are still working in base 60 for the minute. So here we have 45 plus 33, 45 plus 33, that's going to give us 78, but our base value is 60. So we can say we subtract 60 from that 78. So this we have 18 minutes, but because we have scaled beyond 60, that means coming here we have additional 1 to add to the hours. So 2 plus 4 is 6, plus that 1, that will be 7. So inherently what we're having is that the time taken for the journey in hours and minutes is 7 hours 18 minutes for this particular journey. Okay, and now in this other question, we're told that we are to find the total surface area of this particular cuboid. So if you take this as the length, this as the breadth, and this as the height, the total surface area in such a case like this is given as 2 multiplied by the product of the length and the breadth, LB, plus the product of the breadth and the height, BH, plus the product of the height and the length, HL. This is coming into place because we have two sides always facing each other. So this side here will be facing its other side there, then this side here will be facing this side, then this top will also be facing the bottom. So it's the total surface area, the addition of all those areas, and then we're having 2 of each. That's why we have it like this. So if you want to just put that into, say you want to use it to calculate this, in this case we have 2 into length times breadth will be 7 times 4, plus the breadth times height will be 4 times 5, then plus the height multiplied by the length will be 5 multiplied by 7. Okay, so this we can nearly say is 2 multiplied by 7 times 4 is 28, 4 times 5 is 20, 5 times 7, that is 35. Okay, so we are having this as 2 multiplied by the addition of all this, 28 plus 20 plus 35. Okay, so this is 83, and 2 times 83 will be 166. So 166 centimeters square is the total surface area of this particular cuboid in this case. For this question, our mandate is to write down the gradient of the line y is equal to 5x plus 7. And if you recollect the general form of a straight line equation, it is y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, and m is the gradient, where c is the intercept on the y-axis. If you are to compare, you can see that that gradient m is nothing but 5. So 5 is what we are being asked to just write down. Now we are to find the coordinate of the point where the line y is equal to 5x plus 7 crosses the y-axis. So if we are looking at our graph somewhere like this, a straight line like this, then the point where the line y is equal to 5x plus 7 crosses the y-axis will be this particular point, the intercept on the y-axis. And at that point, what we need to note is that the value of x is equal to 0. So if we are to use that here, we can say that y is equal to 5 multiplied by 0 plus 7. Of course, that will be 0 plus 7, and that will be 7. So that coordinate will be x is 0 and y is 7. Okay, so you can go and look at this question on construction. Here in this question, we're told that using a ruler and compasses only, we are to construct this triangle that is drawn. Okay, we are to leave in your construction axe, and then the side of length 12 centimeters has been drawn for you. So let's confirm if this side of 12 is truly 12. So you can bring in a ruler and just check from end to end. So that is 12, and that is good and fine. So let's now measure 9.5 centimeters here. We can come here to say this is the origin, and then we can scale to the 9.5 mark, and this is looking like a good fit. So you can go to the beginning of the 12 centimeter line and just align it. Then we can mark that arc that is 9.5 centimeters. Okay, and then after having done that, you can go back to measure the 8 centimeters from the other side. So you can move to 8. You can take that as the 8 centimeter mark. So we can move to the other end and then place the compass in such a way that we can now use it to cross that other arc that was coming. And this is as good as it gets on our construction. Having done this, what is left is now for us to bring in the ruler and join from the end in such a way that we can complete our triangle, something like this, and then we can bring in our line to just draw from that origin to the intersection of that arc, and then again we'll do the same on the other side. So we can just join on those points as requested. Okay, and I think with this we would have been able to answer this question just as is expected of us in constructing this diagram using a ruler and compass only. Okay, so we can move on to our next question. Okay, so here we are being told that for this particular question, we have to write down the inequality in terms of n shown by this particular number line. First, we have to know that this is an empty circle. So what we are going to have is greater than because it's moving in this direction. Okay, so I didn't mean that we have a shaded circle and it's moving in this direction. We could have had greater than or equal to, because that shaded, we are among that we have or equal to assigned to it. But for this particular case, in which it is just moving to the right hand side, you can see it is positive values greater than minus 1. So we have 0, which is greater than minus 1, 1, which is greater than minus 1, and it is an empty circle. So we all need to say n is greater than minus 1 is the inequality for this number line that is shown. All right. Yeah, in this question, we're told that on the grid, we are to draw the image of the triangle A after a reflection in the y-axis. So how do we get this? Let's look at the y-axis. This is the y-axis, this straight one. I just want to depict it now. So yeah, that is the y-axis that is just shown in red. So you are to have a reflection in the y-axis. That means this y-axis is going to act as a mirror for this triangle A. And of course, for the mirror, one of the properties that we know is that the object distance and the image distance, they are normally equal. So like this vertex here, the distance that is occupying is 0.11. Reflecting about y will be that it will still be 1 and minus 1. So here this is going to be that point. Okay, so we have 1 point here, and then here it is 3 and 5. So since it's reflecting in the y-axis, that 5 will still be maintained, but 3 will not become minus 3. So we are having this particular point minus 3 and this particular point 5. So we have this as this vertex. Okay, and then this other one, it is 4, 2. So we have minus 4, 2. So these are the points that we need to join together that will give us what we are looking at. So something like this, and then join to here, and then join to here. That is going to give us the image of triangle A reflected in the y-axis. Okay, now for this second one, we are to draw the image of triangle A after a translation by the vector minus 3, minus 4. Let me say green ink for that. Let's say we have this as the triangle A. Okay, so let's say this is that triangle A that I want to refer. I just want to use it to explain to you. Okay, now if you are to translate it by this vector minus 3, minus 4, minus 3 on the x-axis means that it will move 3 points on the x-axis. So we have 1, okay, 2, okay, and 3. That is minus 3 on the x-axis. Then minus 4 on the y-axis, we have 1 from 5 to 4, from 4 to 3, that is 2, from 3 to 2, that is 3, from 2 to 1, that is 4. So this is the translation of that triangle A by the vector minus 3, minus 4. What are we having in this particular case? What we are having is that inherently we are moving it via this step 1, 2, 3 on the x, which is the implication of this minus 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 on the y, which is the implication of this minus 4. I just did it like that so that students, you can have a feel of what we are doing here and it will not be ambiguous to you. So this shown in green is the translation by the vector minus 3, minus 4. Let me just now put it appropriately in blue so that you can see. So I can just denote it to say this is what we are having as appropriate. Okay, so that is a good means for you to get what you are expected to get, and that is the triangle that we are expected to get. Okay, now in this third case, we are asked to describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. No problem, we can just go ahead to say we want to try and map this triangle A to this triangle B, and just follow along. This is what I want to do. From the vertex of A, I'll just draw a straight line to that similar vertex on B, okay? And then this, I will also draw a straight line to that similar vertex on B, okay? And then the third vertex, I will also draw with a straight line to that similar vertex on B. And then we can look at what we can get in this particular case. Now, looking at this diagram, we can see that those vertex, they're actually meeting here at point 9, comma minus 1. You see x is 9, y is minus 1. That is the point of intersection. But let's look at the scale of this A to B, because B is looking like a smaller version of A, all right? So for the width of A, let's just take width and the height. We're having 1, 2, 3 for the width of A. Look at B. We have 1 and this is just 1.5. So that's giving us like something like 0.5. But let's look at this other height. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 for A. What about B? We have 1, 2. So definitely 0.5 as a scalar factor is correct. So what we are having with what we have done so far is that how we can define the transformation that maps A to B is nothing but a linear magnification with a scale factor of 0.5 and the origin located at point 9, comma minus 1. Once we've been able to state this, we are good to go and our full mark is assured in this particular question, okay? So here we are to factorize completely 12a raised to power 3 minus 21a. First, we can see that we have a in the two terms, so we can bring a out. 12 and 21, what is the common factor that we can get from there? I think it is 3, so that if you are taking 3a out of 12a3, we have 4a raised to power 2. And if we are taking 3a out of 21a, that means we are having 7 remaining, so that 3a times 4a squared, 3 times 4 is 12, a raised to power 1 times a raised to power 2 is a raised to power 3. Then 3 times 7 is 21, then a, it can reflect. So here, the complete factorization will give us 3a into 4a squared minus 7 as a solution in this case. For this question, why would that the nth term of a sequence is n raised to power 2 plus 7, we have to find the first 3 terms of this sequence. So when n is 1, which is warranting that we're talking about the first term, what we have is that n squared plus 7 will be 1 raised to power 2 plus 7, and that will be 1 plus 7, which is 8. So our first term is 8. So when n is equal to 2, what we're going to have is 2 raised to power 2 plus 7. And 2 raised to power 2 itself is 4. 4 plus 7, that's equal to 11. So we have our second term here to be 11. And when n is equal to 3, what we're having is 3 raised to power 2 plus 7. And that will be 9 plus 7. 9 plus 7 is nothing but 16. So what we have as our answer is 8, 11, and 16 as a solution to this particular question. Now, for this question, we are told that these are the first 4 terms of a different sequence. So, since it's a different sequence, we are going to have a common difference. And that common difference, we can say the common difference D is going to be the difference between the consecutive terms. So, here it will be 7 minus 15. And 7 minus 15 is minus 8. Or we can say it can also be minus 1 minus 7. Or even minus 9 minus minus 1. So, it's still going to give us, like in the case, minus 1 minus 7, that is still minus 8. So it is consistent all through. Now we are asked to find the nth term of the sequence. That nth term, Tn, is given as a plus n minus 1d. Okay? And the common difference we have found to be minus 8. A is the first term, which in this case is nothing but 15. So that we can say our nth term is going to be a, which is 15, plus n minus 1, we are actually going to find it in terms of n, since we are looking for the nth term, okay? Multiplied by d, the d is minus 8. So if we are to open that bracket, we're having Tn is 15, n multiplied by minus 8 will be minus 8n, minus 1 multiplied by minus 8 will be plus 8. So this will be 15 plus 8 is 23, then we have minus 18. So that's going to be our final answer. And you can always verify, for example, when n is 3, this is the first one, second one, and third one. We are going to say minus 8 multiplied by 3, that is minus 24. 23 minus 24 is minus 1. So we are definitely on the right track. So this is our solution to this question, okay? Here we have this statement that as the temperature increases, people eat more ice cream. What type of correlation does this statement describe? What we notice is that there is an increase in temperature and there is also an increase in the consumption of ice cream by people. So since it is increase to increase, definitely this is nothing but a positive correlation. So increase in temperature, people buy more ice cream to cool off, and that type of correlation is a positive correlation. Okay, and then we can look at this question in which we are told that Sanjay invests $700 in an account paying simple interest at a rate of 2.5% per year. We have to calculate the value of his investment at the end of 6 years. Okay, for us to get the value of his investment, first we need to look at the simple interest, which is given as principal times rate times time over 100. Now the principal here was the original amount that he invested, which is $700. So we have $700 multiplied by the rate we are given as 2.5, and then the time period is 6 years over 100. So we can have these zeros cutting out. So our calculator will tell us 7 times 2.5, not 25, 2.5 times 6. What's that going to give us? 105. So the simple interest that he had is $105, but that's not going to be the value of his investment. That value that we are looking at is going to be that principal plus that simple interest. So that's going to be, the principal is $700 plus the simple interest, it just got to be $105. The addition of these two is nothing but $805. So $805 is what is going to be the value of his investment at the end of 6 years. Okay, and then for this particular question, we have Mira investing $700 in an account paying compound interest at a rate of R% per year. Now at the end of 17 years, the value of our investment is $1,030.35. We have to find the value of R. So this is a classical case of compound interest in which the amount at the end of the specified period will be the principal multiplied by 1 plus the rate over 100 to the power of n, where P is the principal, the original investment, which is 700 here. R is the rate that we are looking for. N is the number of years, which is 17 years. The amount that it got later is 1030.35, which is A. So me, I just like to make the unknown sort of the formula in this case. So I can say, yeah, if I divide by P, then what I'm going to have is something like 1 plus R over 100 to the power of N is equal to A over P. And for me to knock out the power of N, I can multiply by 1 over N. This I can also series to power 1 over N, so that this will cut out, and then I can have 1 plus R over 100 is going to give me the nth root of A over P. Okay, but R is what I'm trying to make the sort of the formula. So R over 100 can be subtracting 1 from both sides, the nth root of A over P minus 1. Okay, so that R itself from here, R itself can be 100 multiplied by the nth root of A over P minus 1. Okay, so this is what I need to put into my calculator now. Let me write that n. So I want to write it clearly that this is the nth root of A over P minus 1, then all multiplied by 100. So if I want to bring in all those parameters, I have 100, then the nth root, that will be the 17th root of A. What's the amount? That is 1030.35 over the principal, that is 700 minus 1. So this is what I need to put into the calculator. Okay, so I have 100, then I want to open the bracket, find the nth root, which is just on top of this x to the power. So I have shift this, then that is 17. Then I can come into my root. I have a fraction there. The amount is 1030.35. The denominator is 700. Okay, then I can go out of the fraction. Then I can go out of the root. I want to say minus 1. Then I can close that bracket. And very good practice to check if you didn't make any mistake. You can say this is equal to what? 2.3. Okay, 2.3 will be sufficient for us. So this is 2.3 and then we can say r is nothing but 2.3. You can choose to work all this out, but I just love making the unknown the sort of the formula, and then I just plug in the values, find the answer with the aid of the calculator, and it is done and dusted. Okay, here we have this question on simple indices in which you have h raised to the power 2 times h raised to the power 5. To solve this, you can just take one of the h's and add the power of the 2 since they are multiplying. So this will be nothing but h to the power of 7 as our final answer. In this particular case, we have this expression to simplify. And if you have 7 over x to the power of minus 3, this is inherently saying we have 1 over 7 divided by x to the power of 3, okay? And 1 divided by any number will mean that 1 multiplied by the reverse of that fraction. So here, this will be nothing but x over 7 to the power of 3. So we can separate to say, we want to say x to the power of 3 over 7 to the power of 3. So we see how as x to the power of 3. What is 7 to the power of 3? 7 to the power of 3. This is 343. This is over 343. And I think this is as far as we can go, and that can be our answer in this particular case, okay? So here we are looking at this question in which we have a to the power of 8 divided by a to the power of p is equal to a to the power of 2. Now, also using the law of indices, we can just take 1a, then since it is division, we have 8 minus p. Division will translate to subtraction when we have collapsed the base. So we have a raised to the power 2. Since the bases are equal, then the powers must be equal. We have 8 minus p is equal to 2. Or if you arrange, p will be 8 minus 2. And that will be nothing but 6. So here, p is 6 as the answer to this particular question, okay? So here we have a circle, and we have to find the circumference of the circle given that the radius is 4.7 centimeters. We know that the formula for the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So here it will be 2 multiplied by 4.7 multiplied by pi. So if you want to use our calculator, we have 2 times 4.7 pi. So that's what? 29.5309. That's 29.5309. But we have been told to just leave our answers to 3 significant figures. So I say it's just 29.5 centimeters as the circumference of this circle with radius 4.7 centimeters. Okay. So here, without using a calculator, we have to work out 2 whole number 1 over 3 times 11 over 14. We have to show all our workings and give the answer as a mixed number in the simplest one. So this will give us 2 whole number 1 over 3 times 11 over 14. And if we want to solve this, this is just the same as 2 times 3, 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 over 3 multiplied by 11 over 14. So we can cut 7 can go in 14 too. So we have it as 11 divided by 3 multiplied by 2. This is 6. If you have 11 over 6 and want to simplify this, we know that 6 can go in 11 in one place. 6 times 1 is 6. 11 minus 6 is 5. So 5 over 6 will be the remaining fraction. So the simplest form we can express this is one whole number 5 over 6, and that is that for this question. For this question, we have this graph that is just given to us plain like this, and we are told that in the first case, A is a point, so A is minus 6, 5, and B is a point minus 2, 3, so B is minus 2, minus 3. We have to find the equation of a straight line L that passes through point A and point B. We have to give our answer in the form y is equal to mx plus c. Let me just show students, let me just show you this. If you are to take a straight line from A, we have to pass it through point B, just straight like that. You can see what this is giving us. Now this is a straight line that is actually passing through minus 7. So if we want to deduce, we can say we want to take maybe some appropriate triangle. Let me say at point B, we just want to do something like this. This is B, we move it to this, just to draw this particular triangle in which we can say we have some change in x here and we have some change in y here. The change in y will be how many units? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have change in y to be 4. Change in x is what? 1, 2. That is interesting because we can look at this and say that from our observation of the graph, we have this slope to be now the slope is moving in the negative direction from the left to the right, is moving downwards. So that's going to be a negative slope, and it is the change in y, which is 4, while the change in x, which is 2, and that will be minus 2. Okay, and then the intercept on this y, as you can see, it is minus 7. So I can say c, which is the intercept, is minus 7. And I'm saying this because I have the concept and understanding that from y is equal to mx plus c. If we put in m to be minus 2, c to be minus 7, then this equation will be y is equal to minus 2x minus 7. That is what is going to be the equation of the line passing through points A and B. But that is very good. Let's go ahead and see if we can just solve this by making use of our normal calculation. Here, the concept of the slope can actually help us, in which you can say that slope can be the difference in y. So we have y minus y at point A over x minus x at point A is a constant value that can give us y at B minus y at A over x at B minus x at A. And if you are observant, you'll notice the consistency with which I'm working here. So if you are to solve this, I can say y minus, what is y at A? It is 5 over x minus, what is x at A? It is minus 6. So you don't write 6, you write minus 6. Okay, and then this is, what is y at B? That is minus 3. Y at A, that is 5 over what is x at B? That is minus 2. And x at A, that is minus 6. Again, you write minus 6 and not just 6. So that what we have here will be y minus 5 over x minus minus 6 will become x plus 6, because the negative signs will multiply to give us a positive value. Then this is going to be minus 3 minus 5, that will be minus 8. Minus 2 minus minus 6 will become minus 2 plus 6, and that will be 4. So we have minus 8 over 4, which they can cut so that we have this to be minus 2 over 1. And if we cross multiply, we can say it is giving us y minus 5 is equal to minus 2 into x plus 6. Opening up this bracket to give us y minus 5 is equal to minus 2x. Minus 2 times 6 will be minus 12. So if you rearrange, it will be that y is equal to minus 2x minus 12 plus 5. So this is going to give us nothing but y is minus 2x minus 12 plus 5 is minus 7. So just like we got initially that y is minus 2x minus 7, again we are arriving at this point to say y is nothing but minus 2x minus 7, and that is the solution to this question. Okay, then moving forward, we are seeing here that we are to find the equation of the line that is perpendicular to this line L and it passes through the origin. So we have the origin 0, 0, but then we are told that it is perpendicular to L. Let me go and show you something again on the graph. We know that for the perpendicularity of two lines, the product of their gradient M1 and M2 is going to be minus 1. So if you are taking this as M1, we can say M1 is already minus 2. Okay, so in that case, M2 is going to be minus 1 over M1. So that M2 is going to be minus 1 over minus 2, and that is going to be 1 over 2. So I can say that the second gradient is 0.5, which is 1 over 2. Okay, and then we are told that it's also passing through the origin, which is 0, 0. That means inherently, if I want to scope that, I can look for 1 over 2 is telling me that the change in y over change in x is in this ratio. For a singular change in y, I'm going to have 2 changes in x. So if I want to reflect that, okay, let me say I even want to consider here 2 unit change in x will be from 2 to 0 here. Okay, so we have here, that is 2 changes in x. Corresponding to 1 change in y will be just here. So this point will be a very good point for us to consider. And then also that it's passing through the origin. So I can pick here and say I want to just pass through the origin just like that. So this is going to be as shown for the line perpendicular to this particular line passing through A and B. Okay, and once we have it like this, already we can also say we want to find the equation just as postulated. But let's go ahead and just solve it on our question paper. That yes, we know that the slope, the m2 will be minus 1 over m1, and that will be minus 1 over minus 2, since this m1 is minus 2, so this is 1 over 2. Then that concept of our change in y over change in x, which is still valid, is going to say that y minus y1 over x minus x1 is equal to the slope. That slope is m, it is equal to 1 over 2. So y1 is 0, x1 is 0, so we can say that means y minus 0 over x minus 0 is 1 over 2, such that y over x is equal to 1 over 2, or we can say y is equal to 0.5x. And you can see, if you compare this to y is equal to mx plus c, if you say this is plus c, you can say it's plus 0 because c is not reflecting, it is 0. So it is consistent that when x is 0, y is 0. So this equation is going to be the equation of the line perpendicular to this other line that we drew and also pass through the origin. The diagram shows a rectangle OPQR with length 11 cm and width 4 cm. OQ is a diagonal and OPX is a sector of a circle with center O. We are to calculate the percentage of the rectangle that is shaded. For us to get that percentage of the rectangle that is shaded, we need to first get the area of that shaded portion, okay? And if we want to get the area of that shaded portion, here we can see that is the area of the rectangle, the big rectangle, minus the area of the sector of the circle OPX. So that's the area of the shaded region. Now, in this case, area of the rectangle is nothing but length times breadth, and that length is 11 cm, that breadth is 4, so this is 11 times 4, which is nothing but 44 centimeters square. Okay, then for us to find the area of the sector from this particular diagram, is going to be theta over 360 multiplied by pi r square. So let's define our parameters. This we have to be the theta, okay? So this is angle theta, and then we're also furthermore talking about the radius. That's going to be the distance from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference. So OP or OX, and here we have RQ as 4. So this is also 4 centimeters. So this 4 is also this particular OS. So we have R as 4 centimeters. But then for us to get theta, for theta, we can see that this point, this line PQ, which is 11 centimeter, is one facing theta. So that is opposite to theta. And then 4 centimeter is adjacent to it. So we can say we want to use SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA can help us to say we have the opposite to be 11 centimeters. And then we have the adjacent to be 4 centimeters. What is relating opposite and adjacent? It is tan. So you can say tan theta is equal to opposite, which is 11 over 4, so that by the time we are solving this, we can say theta itself is arctan 11 over 4, okay? Arctan the whole of that, and we want to bring in a calculator. We can have it that we want to do arctan in fraction, 11 as the numerator, 4 as the denominator, and then what's that going to give us? 70.01. Okay, we can just say 70. So this is 70 degrees. And then, that being the case, we cannot, of course, we found R to say R is 4 centimeters. So we can find the area of the sector of that particular circle to be theta, which is 70 over 360, multiplied by pi, multiplied by R square will be 4 raised to the power 2. So we can find this to say this is nothing but, let's use our calculator now. We have 70 divided by 360 multiplied by pi, then multiplied by 4 square. Okay, so this is 9.77 centimeters square, such that the area of the shaded portion will now be the area of the rectangle, which is 44, minus the area of the sector, which is 9.77. So that's going to give us what? 44 minus this answer, That's 34.23. This 34.23 centimeters square. But we are not asked that area. We only ask the percentage that is shaded. So that percentage shaded will be that portion of the shaded region, 34.23, over the total area of that particular rectangle over 44 multiplied by 100%. So this is what we need to put into our calculator to say we have 34.23 divided by 44 times 100. What is that going to give us? 77.79. Okay, so this is 77.79 percentage. But to put it in three significant figures, that will be 77.8 percentage. That is going to give us the answer to this question. Okay. Yeah, we are told that Mrs. Coley buys a jacket, 2 shirts, and a hat. The jacket costs X dollars. The shirts each cost $24 less than the jacket, and the hat costs $16 less than the jacket. Okay. Now, Mrs. Coley spent exactly $100. We have to write down an equation in terms of X and solve the equation to find the cost of the jacket. Okay, so if you are saying that the cost of the jacket cost is actually X dollars. Now we are told that the shirt, each of the shirt costs $24 less than the jacket. $24 less than the jacket will mean X minus 24. But then we are talking about 2 shirts. So the shirt will amount to 2 multiplied by X minus 24. And then the hat, that's the third entity. What about the hat? We are told that the hat costs $16 less than the jacket. So that will be X minus 16. Okay. So now from what we are told that Mrs. Coley spent exactly $100. So the addition of these 3 will amount to 100, so that we can have X plus 2 into X minus 24 plus X minus 16. The addition of everything is going to give us 100. So we have to write down an equation in terms of X. That is it. Or we can say we want to simplify for that to say this will be X plus 2X, then plus this X again, then minus 2 times 24 is 48, then minus 16 is equal to 100, so that X2 and X will give us 4X minus 48 and 16 with 14, that's minus 64, is equal to 100. And then we can have 4X to be 100 plus 64, which is 164. And then if we divide both sides by 4, 4 can cut 4 in 16, this will be 4, 1. Okay, so X itself will be nothing but $41. So $41 will amount to the cost of the jacket. Okay. In this question, we are told that y is inversely proportional to the square root of x plus 4. So if you want to express that, we can say y inversely proportional means it is 1 over, okay, square root of that square root. I can either write the square root like this. I can say it is to the power of half. So I want to use the power of half. So I can say it is x plus 4 square root. Okay. So if you want to introduce the constant of proportionality, you can say this is nothing but that y is equal to k over x plus 4 raised to the power 1 over 2. Now we are told that when x is 5, y is 2. So for x is 5, y is 2, we can have it that means 2 is equal to k over, what's the value for x? That is 5 plus 4 raised to the power 1 over 2. So this is 9. That means we're having 2 is equal to k over 4 plus 5 plus 4 is 9. So we have 9 raised to the power 1 over 2. That means that k is 2 multiplied by 3, because 9 raised to the power half is the square root of 9, which is 3. So k is 6. So this equation inherently means that what we have is y is equal to 6 over x plus 4 raised to the power 1 over 2. So now we have to find y when x is 77. So for x to be 77, that means y is going to be 6 over 77 plus 4 raised to the power 1 over 2. 77 plus 4 is nothing but 81. So we have 6 over 81 raised to the power half, which is 6 over 9. 89, 81 raised to the power half is square root of 81, which is 9. So 3 can go here. 3 in 6 is 2, and 3 in 9, that is 3. So y will be 2 over 3 when x is 77. Okay? And then here, oh, very good. We are to solve this simultaneous equation, and we must show all our workings. Okay, so if I call this equation 1 and I call this equation 2, from that equation 1, I can say I have y to be 11 minus 3x, and if I'm to use this in equation 2, I'll just use this equation in 2. Then I'm going to have s squared minus 2 multiplied by y which is 11 minus 3x is equal to 18. So I just need to open up this and try and solve this to get my final answer. Okay, so in that case I'm going to have s squared minus 2 times 11 is 22, minus 2 times minus 3x will become plus 6x. Okay, then when 18 goes to the other side, I have minus 18 is equal to 0, so that this will be s squared plus 6x minus 22 minus 18 will become minus 40 is equal to 0. Okay, so now to solve this by factorization method, I can say I'm looking for a product that is minus 40 s squared. Okay, and then I'm looking for a sum that is 6x. So what two number can I actually multiply together to give me minus 40s and add together to give me 6x? So since the sum is positive, then the larger number should be positive. Think 10x and minus 4x is going to give us, because 10x and minus 4x will be minus 40x squared, and 10x minus 4x is going to give us 6x. So here I can write and say s squared plus 10x minus 4x minus 40 is equal to 0. And then for the first two terms, x is common, so I have x plus 10 remaining. For the last two terms, minus 4 is common, again x plus 10 is remaining. Now in this expression now, x plus 10 is common, so if I have x plus 10 here, then in the first term I have x remaining, in the second term I have minus 4 remaining is equal to 0. So this will warrant that it's either x plus 10 is 0, or I have it that x minus 4 is 0, in which case here x will be minus 10, or I will have x to be 4. So that is first thing that we need to see and know. But then look at what we have initially. Y is 11 minus 3x. So when x is minus 10, y which is 11 minus 3x will now be 11 minus 3 times minus 10. So this will be 11 minus 3 times minus 10 will become plus 30, and that will be 41. Okay, so we have the first point to be x is minus 10, y is 41. And then in the other case, when x is equal to 4, then y will be 11 minus 3 multiplied by 4. So that will be 11 minus 12, which is minus 1. So if you want to look at the solution in this particular case, when x is minus 10, what's the value for y? Y is 41. And when x is 4, what's the value for y? Y is minus 1. So this is the solution to this question, and just showing all our working, being consistent with what we need to do at able to solve it, and that is done with this question. In this question, the diagram shows an open rectangular box A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, just as shown here. Now, AB is 18.6 centimeters, BC is 9 centimeters, and CG is 14.5 centimeters. Now, a straight stick AGM rests against A and G and extend outside the box to M as shown here. So our mandate is to calculate the angle between the stick, this stick, and the base of the box. So I just want to give you a pictorial view of what this is normally looking like. If you are to depict the base of the box in that brownish color, okay, first and foremost, that stick that is inclined in the box will be making an angle with the diagonal of the base of this particular rectangular box. Okay, so what we are looking for, the angle between the stick and the base of the box, you can say is given as theta. So this angle theta is what we are looking for, and for theta, this side, this is the opposite, So this side GC is the opposite to that theta that we are looking for. And for us to find the theta, then since we have this opposite, we need to get either the hypotenuse or the adjacent. Now, from the information that we are given, we have these sides of the base of the rectangle. We have this side AB as 18.6, we have BC as 9. If we can find this side X, which is AC, then that means that we have gotten two sides of the triangle AGC. We have the opposite, then we could have gotten the adjacent. Then we can use the trigonometry identity to find the value of theta. You can say that from triangle ABC, we are seeing that Pythagoras theorem is coming into play because x here is the hypotenuse of that triangle. So we can say s square is equal to 18.6 square plus 9 square as a result of Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so once we can postulate that, we can say that means that s square is equal to 18.6 raised to power 2 plus 9 raised to power 2. This is 426.96 such that x itself is going to be the square root of 426.96. and what's that going to give us? So root answer that we just got 20.663. This is 20.663 centimeters. So that is that. But then we can say that from the triangle now ACG, SOHCAHTOA can help us to actually get this, that we have theta, we know the opposite, we have the adjacent as x, so we can say tan theta, which is the one relating opposite to the adjacent, equals to the opposite, which is GC, over this adjacent, which is AC. So that GC is 14.5, that AC is what we just got as 20.663. So once we have that, we can input into our equation to say theta itself is going to be arctan 14.5 over 20.663. So this is what we need to use our calculator to try and evaluate arctan 14.5. We are dividing it by 20.663. Okay, we want to close the bigger brackets. Okay, so this is 35.05, 35.05877. But then we have been told that for angles we should round up to 1 decimal place. So this will be 35.1 degrees as the value of theta in this question. Okay, now we are given that AM is 30 centimeters. We are to show that GM is 4.8 centimeters correct to 1 decimal place. So let's look at the diagram. AM is 30. So here AM is 30. Okay, then we are to show that GM, this GM, the shorter exterior here, this exterior, this is the GM. We are to show that it is equal to 4.8 centimeters correct to 1 decimal place. From here, what can we see? We can see that normally AM, the whole of that length, is AG plus GM. So I can say that AM from here is actually AG plus GM. So since we are being asked to show that GM is 4.8, we just need to say that means GM is nothing but this GM is AM, which is the whole length that we are giving, minus AG, and that AG is nothing but the hypotenuse in this particular case. So we have the opposite as 14.5, we have the base here, which is the adjacent, as x. Definitely we can find the hypotenuse either by making use of Pythagoras theorem, or we want to say that we want to make use of trigonometry identity, SOHCAHTOA, anyone. Then if you can get that GM to the value by subtracting AG from AM to be 4.8, then our work is done and dusted, and we have proved what we are asked to do. Okay, so let me just clear this to say I want to go forth to look at that triangle and recollect. I'm just seeing this triangle here, something like this. So if I call that side AG, and it's still extending to another point M here. So we have this as C. We have gotten this to be X. This is the theta that we just got. And here, this is 14.5. Okay. X we got to be 20.663. Okay. So we want to prove that GM is equal to 4.8 centimeters. But we are saying that GM itself from this diagram is equal to AM, which is 30, minus AG. That AG, let's still have it as AG. So let's find the value of AG from here. And of course, maybe we want to use trigonometry identity, or want to use Pythagoras theorem. Okay, here we can just say AG, which is y, okay, y square is equal to 14.5 square plus 20.663 square. Okay, so what's our value for that? 14.5 square plus 20.663 square, 637.21. This is 637.21. So y itself, which is AG, is going to be the square root of 637.21. And what's that going to give us? So square root of the answer, 25.24. This is 25.24. Okay. So in that case, we can just say our GM from where we are coming from will be 30, which is AM, minus this AG, which is 25.24. So what's that going to give us? We have 30 minus 25.24. So this is 4.76. This is 4.76. And of course, 4.76 is approximately equal to 4.8 centimeters. So we can see that we have been able to prove that GM from our calculation is 4.8 centimeter as requested from this question. And with that, our question is done and dusted on this particular solution. Okay. For this question, we're told that the diagram shows a trapezium OPQR. O is the origin and OR is equal to A, then OP is equal to B. Now, RQ is equal to 3 over 5 of OP. So if you want to denote that, we can say this is 3 over 5 of OP. OP is B, so you can say this is 3 over 5B. Then we have to find PQ in terms of A and B in its simplest form. Okay, PQ is our mandate. PQ from here to here, that is our mandate that we need to find. Now, what we need to understand to solve this question is that PQ that we may be looking at is nothing but OQ minus OP. So let's look at that. So this is PQ. It will be OQ minus OP. It is the position vector of Q, which is OP, minus the position vector of P, which is OP. That is PQ. All right. So now that we have that, do we have OQ initially? No, but we have OP. We have OP defined as B. But now we need to find OQ. And looking at this, you can see that OQ will be you moving from O to R, then moving from R to Q. So that means that what we are looking for, PQ, is nothing but first OR plus RQ, and if you observe and you look as if this R, we can collapse, so say this is OQ. Okay, so just note that you can use that as a guide in solving this. Then minus OP. I think now we have all the parameters that we need, so we can say that to solve for PQ for this particular question, what we are going to have is nothing but OR, which is A, then plus RQ, which is 3 over 5B, right? Then minus OP, which is B. And if we want to solve for this, we can see that this is nothing but A is still there. For this other one, we can say it is plus. We have 5 at the denominator, and then we have 3B minus 5B, such that 5B over 5 is 5, then 3 over 5 will be 3 over 5B. So this is nothing but A minus 2B over 5. So as requested of us for this particular question, PQ is A minus 2B over 5. All right. Now, in this next question, and we are told that when PQ and OR are extended, the intersect at W, we are to find the position of vector of W. Okay, so let's go ahead and extend PQ and OR. Hopefully, this will be able to take it. Or let me just duplicate it and take it down. Okay. So here is a replica of the diagram. We're told that when PQ and QR are extended, they intersect at W. So let's just do the extension OR. So we can start at O. We just want to extend in that line. Okay. Then PQ, we just also want to extend that. This is their point of intersection. Let's call that W. Okay. We have to find the position vector of W. From this particular diagram, I can postulate readily that I can have something like this angle here, and this angle here. You can see this line being parallel to this line. Render these two angles to be equal. So this angle and this angle, they are the same. Interestingly, I can also say that I'm having this angle and this angle here. They are also the same. Okay, the same way. They are corresponding angles. Look at them facing the same way. And then, as good and as easy as it gets, this particular angle at W, this angle at W is common to these two triangles that we are looking at, WRQ and WOP. So inherently, I can just say triangle WRQ is just similar to triangle WOP. And if that is the case, the ratio of their sides is also going to be equal. So if I call this point, if I call this Y, I can now say that means that Y over A plus Y, this Y for triangle WRQ, then A plus Y for triangle WOP is going to be a constant relating to 3 over 5B, this side for triangle WRQ, over B, which is the side for triangle WOP. Okay, that is actually a constant that I can relate with because these triangles, they are similar. And all I just need to do here now is just, let's say I want to cross multiply. Okay, and since they are constant, I'm also seeing that this B is going to cut out. Okay, so crossing multiplying, I'm just going to have that Y is equal to 3 over 5 into A plus Y. Okay, so that what I'm having is Y is equal to 3 over 5A plus 3 over 5Y. Y minus 3 over 5Y is going to give me 3 over 5A, and that means that Y minus 3 over 5Y is 2 over 5Y. That's going to give me 3 over 5A, meaning that Y itself is going to be, this 5 is going to cut out, it's going to be 3 over 2A. But then the position vector of W is actually A plus Y. So that position vector for W, OW, is going to be A plus 3 over 2A. And that is nothing but, this will be 2 over 2. That will be 5 over 2A as the position vector of W. So once you get that, then you can know that you are good to go. And just for the sake of explanation again, we are relating vectors and similarity of triangles here in such a way that we can actually find the proportionality between them. And for this particular case of W, we just bring in those similar triangles and we're able to find the position vector of W as nothing but 5 over 2A. And with that, we have come to the end of this beautiful journey in this question from the IGCSE Mathematics 058022 from the February-March 2022 exam paper, and we hope you find it useful. If that is the case, then go ahead and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your friends, share with your loved ones. Let's build this excellence in students together. And you can also check some other resources from DaveTuts Academy, which you know you are going to find useful on your path to excellence. It's DaveTuts Academy. Thanks for watching to this point. Until next time, God bless you.